So although the HashMap is not part of the AP Comp Sci curriculum, if you choose to do the cumulative song alternative assessment, you may find the HashMap to be a helpful tool. So first of all, what is a HashMap? Think of it as somewhat like a reference table. Here I'm on the FCPS website looking up the grading scale. So hopefully you guys know how the grading scale works. So the letter grades range from A down to F, and then each letter grade will map to a point value on the GPA scale. So I know that these are ranges. I'm going to go with the highest value in each range, with the exception of the F. Historically, the F would just take a 0, but an A would get 4.0, an A minus 3.7, and then all the way down. So looking at this table, the left column, if I want to go from a letter grade to a GPA value, the left column with the letter grades, those would represent my keys. So what I would do is, all right, well, I got a B minus in a class. What is the GPA value of that? So I look up the B minus, and right next to it, I get from my table that a B minus is going to map to 2.7. So here, the letter grade is what we call the key, and the number is what we would call the value. Okay, now they don't have to be letters or numbers or text and numbers. They could be any object type to any object type. So, I mean, they can be objects mapping to other objects, strings mapping to other strings. So just a quick look at the documentation of the HashMap class. So by this point, you will have already done array lists. This recording is being done before I taught array lists to you guys this year. But you can see the generic type. So K for key, V for value. So you can declare those however you would like. Now, typically, just like with array list, I use just the 0 arg constructor. And you can add elements to your HashMap, except for unlike ArrayList, the method is not called add, it is called put. So when you put an element into a HashMap, you send it the key followed by the value. So whereas an array and array list, you access those elements through their index. When you put something into an array list, if you just use the traditional one arg add method, you would say just add the element and it'll put it as the last element of the array list, and then it's going to have its index assigned. So with the HashMap, there is no indexing. So to look up a value, you look up its key to get its value back. Okay, so we have put, we have remove, replace, get, which is the accessor method, that'll get you back the value given the key. Okay, do note that it doesn't go the other way around. You can see that the return types, many of these are V. There is no K return type, so there is no, you're not going to be able to get your key back. But if you're trying to model what I'm doing with my example of the cumulative song, you're not going to need it anyways. Now, before I even get into the cumulative song, I'll start with a simpler application. Here is a program example of the GPA calculator. This is what's called a static initialization. So this works very similar to if you were to use an initializer list for an array or a 2D array. I could have put this into its own method and initialized everything, but since I'm just dealing with grade point values, I mean, those aren't subject to change anyway. So I just went ahead and defined the entire HashMap up front. So letters A through F and their respective GPA values. So the map type is string for key and double for value. Then here's my instantiation, and then all the values going in. So this method will compute an average based on letter grades. right? And it'll work with both upper and lowercase. So let's say that I got an A, a B minus, A minus, B plus, B, let's say I got a C. I didn't really aim for C's. And then I hit 0 to finish. Okay, and you can see that it's going to give me back my overall GPA. So the way that this worked was I'm in a while loop, so 0 is my exit option. So we said if the response is equal to 0, then we are going to break the loop and essentially just run down to the calculation. Anything else that gets put in, I said if my hash map contains the key. So if my hash map contains what was typed in. Then I'm going to take the value, okay, so the hashmap.get, send it the key, that's going to give me the double back. I'm going to add that to my total score, and then I'm going to add 1 to my counter because, again, I don't have anything else to keep track of how many scores I'm putting in, so I just ran a counter for it. And then when we finally type in 0 to get out of this, then it'll calculate the GPA. All right, so feel free to use this as a setup for your hash map if you choose to use it for your cumulative song. I know that I chose a Christmas song, and Christmas is considered a religious holiday. This was just the first one that I could really think of. So I also did a hash map for the 12 days of Christmas. So the numbers go from 1 to 12. So my first data type is integer. And then my second data type, well, there's 2 parts of it. So the numbers 1 through 12 should map to the words first through 12th to begin with. And then also each day is going to map to a particular gift. So a partridge in a pear tree for the first day. The second day, they got 2 turtle doves. So this was just another class that I wrote up, and I don't even mind sharing my date gift class with you guys. It's pretty basic. Okay, now I did not share my recursive method with you guys, but so I have the recursive method sing verse. You can see that it's not an overly long method. I mean, this thing jumps from line 21 to line 34. I'm not going to unfold it and reveal it. But in my main method, I said to call my recursive method, pass in 1 for first day of Christmas, and then also, you know, get the gift that goes with the first day of Christmas. So that is going to put in the string, a partridge in a pear tree. And from there, my sing verse method will call itself recursively until it finishes all 12 days. So if I run this as it is, okay, and again, you can see the total program, including all the white space, that is 38 lines. Even the folded portion is included there. But this will print out the full lyrics to the song. So as each day gets reached, we put out the cumulative lyrics to the song as it's sung. Okay, so for each new day, we count all the way back down to 1. Okay, now I did incorporate something for anybody who wants to try the 12 days of Christmas. So on the first day, I mean, it's just a partridge in a pear tree, but then starting with the second day, with the partridge being the last one that goes, and a partridge in a pear tree. Okay, so that should be enough to be able to help you set up your song lyrics. This can be applied to virtually any cumulative song. So I will leave you guys to it and tell you to have fun with it.